Pitcher Justin Verlander has reportedly been traded to the Houston Astros.
The Astros have come to terms in a deal that will bring Justin Verlander to the Astros.
This is a major transaction, one of the largest transactions in our club history. We're very excited about it.
The opportunity to come play for a championship caliber team is ultimately what it really came down to. Hopefully we can bring a championship to a city that really could use something like that right now and give the city something to rally around.
Justin Verlander is a Houston Astro.
He established himself as an elite pitcher. He has a Cy Young. He has an MVP.
What a pitch, 3 in a row. Verlander's just toying with him.
Justin Verlander, another exclamation point in a Hall of Fame career.
For the second time in 6 years, the Astros are baseball's best.
Tucker, line drive, base hit. Here comes the throw. Bregman will be safe at home plate. Astros win it. This isn't a live shot, although it could be. Justin Verlander running back to Houston tonight. That's right, the Astros have reacquired Justin Verlander, their two-time Cy Young Award winner, 3 overall for JV, 2 in an Astros uniform, as tonight they open up a series, or actually play the middle game of a series against the Cleveland Guardians, so far winning last night, and they are 4-3 on the homestand. Hi, everybody, and welcome. I'm Todd Callis alongside Jeff Blum. Blummer, we ended the show last night saying we might have some news by the time we're back on the air, and my, was that news pretty big.
It is news. We're still here. That's the great news. But JV is coming back. We all know that JV is coming back. The Astros felt like they needed to move, and they made a big one.
When Justin was unanimous Cy Young Award winner last year, he really closed strong. But let's take a look at the trade first. Some really good prospects going to the Mets.
Yeah, this is one of the more interesting trades you're going to see. I think that the Astros were kind of turned on by the fact that Scherzer got traded away from the Mets, and the Mets picked up a large portion of that contract. So they called and said, hey, would you do the same for Justin, pick up a large portion of that contract? As far as money is concerned, they did, but they said, you've got to give us 2 great prospects in return. And that's unfortunately what happened with the Astros. Drew Gilbert and Ryan Clifford, 2 coveted pieces in the Astros organization, are headed to the New York Mets. But in return, the Astros get Justin Verlander.
And Verlander last year on his en route to his Cy Young Award really finished strong.
Well, that's exactly what he is. He is an ace at the top of the rotation. He garners a lot of attention. He brings everybody into the seats, and he pitches extremely well, and he's a closer too. Those 9 starts in August and September of last season are a lot of the reason why the Astros ran away with the American League West. 1.59 ERA is something nice to put into your rotation potentially.
You think about Verlander also winning that Cy Young in 2019. He really finished strong down the stretch that year as well, including that no-hitter. How about the way he's been trending with the Mets lately?
Well, I think that's what's interesting. The last 7 starts have been phenomenal. That's exactly what Justin Verlander looks like. Very similar to 2017 when the Astros picked him up. He was just getting his legs under him. And think about this. He missed the month of April. He's only thrown in 94 1/3 innings this season. So that arm is fresh and ready to go to finish off this season.
Yeah, one of those stats that jumps out, over 6 innings average per start, and that could really help out an Astros bullpen that's been taxed. With more on the reaction from his former teammates, which are now his current teammates, we take it down to Julia.
Thank you so much, DK. Yeah, fired up is what Alex Bregman said immediately when asked about his reaction. He said it feels kind of like opening day now, and that's a lot to say when you're 107 games into the season right now. He said, all of a sudden my body feels better, just this jolt of energy, which is exactly what this move has been from the team. Now, this is a team that's had a few jolts lately. Jose Altuve, Yordan Alvarez, we'll get Jose Urquidy back in a couple of days. So that's a lot of energy anyway, but now to add Justin Verlander to the mix just takes it to another level. Kendall Graveman talking about his return to the team being so great. They're thinking JV will be much of the same. Knowing these guys, it'll be easy transition for him. He's excited to be back. He's texted several of these guys already. So very excited to see what happens down the stretch for this Astros club that just got a lot better. All right, we are getting you ready for Game 2 of this series between the Astros and the Guardians. Things are fun. Things are good. Let's win a series now. We'll be back right after this.
Here, everything's better. And by Jack in the Box. If the Astros score 3 or more runs, tomorrow you score a free Jumbo Jack with a large drink purchase. One ace is good, Framber Valdez, and now he's reunited with his other co-ace, Justin Verlander. 2 aces ready to pitch August, September, and hopefully the postseason as well. Framber tonight when we come back. Tuesday is presented by Champion Energy. During the course of tonight's game, send your post, and we're going to have tonight's theme be the trade deadline. How did the Astros do? What are your hopes for the rest of the season? Send your thoughts and use the hashtag Stros Tuesday, and we'll share your post during the course of tonight's game on Social Tuesday, presented by Champion Energy. Big day for the Astros and a big day for Framber Valdez to try and get things rolling.
You're right, TK. He's happy to see that calendar month turn into August. Getting that start today on August 1st. 3.29 is that ERA. The month of July was not friendly to him. 7.29 was that ERA in 4 starts in July, so he's happy to turn it past that month and get rid of that last start, too, against Texas. Remember, he only went 3 2/3 innings when giving up 6 earned runs. This should be a good matchup for him to start to turn things around and really finish this season strong.
We'll take a look at Terry Francona's lineup, and it's had to change a couple of times today. Stephen Kwan was always in there leading off in left field. Tyler Freeman at second base. Jose Ramirez always hits third for this lineup. But then the cleanup hitter changed 3 times, or 2 times, 3 different cleanup hitters. It's now Oscar Gonzalez, as both Josh Naylor and Josh Bell were out of the lineup for various reasons. Number 5 hitter is David Fry. Will Brennan will hit 6. He was not in the original lineup. And then you've got Gabriel Arias, Miles Straw, and Cam Gallagher will catch and bat 9th. Naylor has a little side issue, and he was scratched from the lineup. Josh Bell, the other Josh, was traded just before after the lineups were out and before the game started to the Miami Marlins, so that's why he's out of the lineup. The Astros starting defense is presented by Xfinity. Chas McCormick back out there in left field. He will be in left with Jake Myers and Kyle Tucker. The other outfielders, Alex Bregman over at third base, having a little discussion with the Guardians third base coach, Mike Sarbaugh. Jeremy Pena and Jose Altuve up the middle. Jose Abreu at first base. And Martin Maldonado will catch Framber Valdez as he does every start. Plummer, an interesting dynamic as we start play here on Tuesday night, August 1st being the trade deadline. You've got one team who is just a half game behind in the Texas Rangers, and that's the home team, Houston. You've got a Cleveland team that has moved some pieces, Aaron Savali and Josh Bell, yet they're only 1 game behind the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, almost just ceding this American League Central to the Minnesota Twins. And it's going to be interesting to see how it finishes out, because I'm not sure if Minnesota had no plans of making any moves, but they just sat back and watched the other team kind of trade their pieces away and maybe fall away from them without having to make a move or an addition.
Generally, when you stand pat at the trade deadline, you're losing ground, but the Minnesota Twins actually gained ground with Savali and Bell moving off the team. And now Framber getting 2 quick strikes on Stephen Kwan. And now missing wide, it's 1-2. So the Astros starting the day a half game behind the Texas Rangers. Both teams have 60 wins. The Rangers have 46 losses. The Astros with 47. Swing and a miss. That's a good start for Framber Valdez, getting Stephen Kwan here to start the game.
See it here on our MD Anderson strike zone. Nice little snap to that cutter down at 89 miles an hour. Good depth on that pitch.
Framber in that start against Texas threw 80 pitches over 3 2/3 innings and only struck out 1. He's already got 1 strikeout today, 4 pitches in. Now Tyler Freeman the batter, and he takes a called strike. Acquiring Justin Verlander in and of itself is so big. Obviously, his credentials speak for themselves. As Framber delivers another strike, it's 0-2. But the impact it can have on everybody else in the rotation can be large as well.
As it should. I would imagine one of the guys that's happy in that rotation is going to be Hunter Brown, getting one of his idols back as Framber goes to work on Tyler Freeman. This time he's going to get the strikeout with that curveball. Mattress from Supermo is going to show you some of that spin. Dangle it out there and then break it under the swing.
So already more strikeouts for Framber than he had in his last start. We're only 7 pitches in, and with all the moves for the Guardians and with the injury to Josh Naylor, this is the one guy you've got to be aware of in the lineup, Jose Ramirez. Although Jose's numbers are much better as a left-handed hitter than a right-handed hitter, he's still their best threat in the lineup as he takes a pitch down for a ball, 2-0. I think for Fromber too, I mean, he was obviously the opening day starter and the nominal ace of the staff, and now he's going to have some competition for that with Justin Verlander. Fromber's going to be, hey, I've been the guy here all year long. Don't forget about me, as Verlander will get a lot of headlines here in the next 24 hours. And Fromber starts out with a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts. At the top, followed by Jeremy Pena and Kyle Tucker. Alex Bregman hitting that cleanup spot. Good hope stand for Breggy. Jose Abreu hits fifth. Chas McCormick back in there in left field. Yainer Diaz will DH. Off day for Yordan Alvarez. Jake Myers and Martin Maldonado round out your lineup.
Lineup is going to be going up against 6'5", 250-pound rookie right-hander Gavin Williams. On the season, 1-2. This will be his 8th start of his career. 31 strikeouts. Occasional issues with the walks. 17 walks to go with those 31 strikeouts this season.
So Jose Altuve will be the first one to face this young right-hander. Astros facing Gavin Williams for the first time. Altuve's on a good run right now. 4-game hitting streak going. 7 for 15, and takes that first pitch fastball up high for a ball, 1-0. Astros trailed most of the early part of the game yesterday 2-0 before rallying for 4 runs in the 6th. They added a run in the 7th and 2 in the 8th to win yesterday's game. 7-3 was the final score. Jose, since coming off the IL, is 7 for 18. He's got a 4-game hitting streak going and 7 for 15 during that hitting streak. There's a strike as called by Quinn Walcott. Home plate umpire. It's 2-1. Altuve pops one up. Foul territory. David Fry at first base will make the play. That'll be the first out of the bottom of the first inning.
Check out some of the pitches for Gavin Williams on our StatCast 3D powered by Google Cloud. You're going to see that four-seamer. He's averaging 95.4 miles an hour on that pitch. He will throw it 59% of the time before getting to that slider and showing the curveball. You might see the occasional changeup thrown to that left-handed hitter. The only one in the lineup tonight is Kyle Tucker.
Now Jeremy Pena, the batter, and Pena sends one into left center field. Well struck, and that'll be down and to the wall. Fielding it off the wall is Miles Straw. Jeremy Pena cruises into second base. He has himself a 1-out double.
Good for Jeremy. He went up there with the idea to ambush a fastball, and he got one at 98 miles an hour, and he redirected it at 107.1 for that extra base hit. Signs of life in that stick from Jeremy Pena here in the last couple of days.
Something about being in that 2 spot just ignites Pena. He loves hitting in that second position in the lineup. That'll bring up Kyle Tucker. Tucker coming off a huge month of July. Definitely one of the top candidates for player of the month in the American League in July. You see his batting average. He also drove in 23 runs, including 2 in last night's game. Takes a fastball at 99 for a strike, 0-1. Tuck went 2 for 4 last night with a couple of runs batted in and a run scored. Also stole his 20th base of the year. Tonight is game number 108 on the season. That is exactly the 2/3 point of the season. Tucker taps one towards first. It'll be fielded there by Williams. On the play, Pena moves to third. That'll be the second out of the inning. I'll bring up Alex Bregman. Bregman second on the team in RBIs behind Tucker 72. Alex has driven in 69 on the year. Got a runner on third here with 2 outs. on this trade deadline Tuesday, which wrapped up just about 2 hours before game time here in Houston. We're very fortunate to have the general manager of the Houston Astros, Dana Brown. He's going to be joining us in the top half of the third inning. Bregman checks his swing and no swing. It's 1-1. So stay tuned for that. Dana, good enough to talk to us, Blummer, before the trade deadline, and now he'll join us after the big acquisition of the 3-time Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, very kind of him. Been an exciting, probably last 48 hours for him.
And there were a lot of names being bandied about. The more we looked last night during the course of the game, the more it seemed like Verlander was going to be traded. And the Astros were able to get it done. 1-2 pitch. Bregman just reaches out and sends a ground ball to short. Arias makes the play, and that'll do it for the Astros in the first. A double, one man left on base. We head to the second, scoreless.
Astro poll. Let's reveal what it is tonight. Make sure you're following along at ATT Sportsnet SW. What do the Astros gain most from the return of Justin Verlander? Is it rotation depth, top-end talent, championship experience, or that shot in the arm here late in the season? But we'll have results coming your way a little bit later. Guys, I heard all of these things from the clubhouse. Heard it from Dusty Baker. I'm sure we'll hear it again from Dana Brown, and even owner Jim Crane talking about this move and what he brings to the club today. Jim Crane saying he sent him a text once the deal was all the way done, saying, welcome back. We missed you. Hope you pitch well against the Yankees whenever we see you next.
Yeah, that should be exciting. Justin Verlander, who pitched on Sunday, won his 250th career game, should be lined up to face the New York Yankees in that 4-game series in the Bronx. It's kind of scripted pretty well.
It's almost too nice.
Right?
Yeah, you just see it coming. You just got to fly up there, pick him up, put him into your rotation, and have him face one of your postseason rivals. I mean, it's outstanding.
No day yet picked for when Verlander might make his Astros 2023 debut. Fromber looking good early, striking out Oscar Gonzalez. 3 strikeouts for Valdez, 1 out in the second.
The curveball already is looking much sharper than it did against the Texas Rangers. I know there were some other things going on in that game against Texas, but that curveball really never got into action for Fromber Valdez. But here early on, showing some good snap, good shape. We might start to see more of this, more of these guys swinging early in counts to avoid getting to that curveball.
David Fry fouling one back. It's 0-1. Beats him with 96 and getting ahead 0-2. He's been ahead of almost every hitter tonight.
That was another thing too, is the velocity in that last start wasn't nearly what it was throughout the course of the season when we were seeing him pumping 96, 97.
2 pitches grounded foul. Yeah, that last start for Fromber, there was some back and forth between the Astros and the Rangers. Fromber, who is normally a fairly emotional guy on the mound, has been working through his career at controlling his emotions, probably got caught up a little bit in that fray. There's another nice pitch. Man, is Fromber working well tonight. Maldi makes the flip to Jose Abreu. 4 strikeouts already after just 1 in his last start. Movie Day, presented by Securian Financial, returns tomorrow afternoon. That's when the Astros take on the Guardians. You can catch the game and then make your way onto the field to watch The Lion King on the big screen. Get your tickets at astros.com/movie day. Astros have not named a starter tomorrow for the series and homestand finale. Tanner Bybee will go for Cleveland tomorrow. That'll be a 1:10 first pitch. We'll be on the air with our pregame show at 12:30. Will Brennan, not expecting to face the lefty tonight, was added to the starting lineup after Josh Bell was traded to the Miami Marlins. Oscar Gonzalez moved up 2 spots in the lineup and took over the DH role for Bell, and Brennan playing right field and batting in the 6th spot that was occupied by Gonzalez. Will just 161 on the year, facing left-hand pitching. 2 pitches upstairs, 2-1. Fromber has faced Cleveland 4 times in his career. Once out of the bullpen back in 2019, 3 times as a starter. And he has won all 4 games of his 4 appearances, even the one out of the bullpen. So he's 4-0 with a 3.22 against Cleveland. This one towards Bregman on 2 bounces. Alex makes the throw in time, and Fromber looking good early. He's got 3 strikeouts, and he's retired the first 6 Guardians. Stats. August 1 is a good thing for Jose Abreu. His career numbers in August, by far his best month of any month by a wide margin. 334 batting average, 58 home runs. No other month does he have more than 42 home runs, 178 RBIs. He's got a 971 OPS. This is a guy whose best month other than 971 is an 853 OPS, the final month of the year. This is his month.
Get it hot, get it going. Be nice to have that guy show up and start driving in runs.
That'd be one thing if it was over the course of 2 or 3 years, but he's done it for all 9 seasons that he's been with the White Sox. Gotten hot in the month of August. He's down in the count here quickly to Gavin Williams, 0-2. Jose on the year, it's not been where he's wanted to be. Starts the night 243 with 10 home runs, 56 runs batted in. And he takes a slow curveball that's called at the top of the zone. Abreu thought it was a little bit up. And Quinn Wolcott calls it a strike. That'll be the first strikeout for Williams.
He's got an argument to make right there. Gravity just bringing that one back down and convinces the home plate umpire that it's a strike.
Well, here's Chas McCormick back in the lineup after getting last night off. Chas wrapped up his month of July with excellent credentials as well. You can see the bottom number on your screen, 351 in July, 1128 OPS, very similar to Kyle Tucker's numbers. That one's a strike, is 1-1. Gavin Williams is the #1 prospect for the Cleveland Guardians. He is the #10 prospect overall in the MLB.com pipeline and #2 amongst pitchers. He was out of East Carolina University in the 21 draft. First round pick. Plummer mentioned he's a big guy. He gets really a far extension. He really extends out when he releases that pitch.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see him stride almost a full foot further than Fromber Valdez. That increases the opportunity to get that wingspan going downhill towards the hitter. Kind of makes it tough to pick up and lessens that time to be able to see it.
He's picked up a couple of strikeouts here in this inning, getting Jose Abreu and Chas McCormick. Yainer Diaz DHing tonight, giving Yordan Alvarez the night off. And our social media Tuesday, Colton Gibson said the real question is, will August 1st be remembered more as the day that Yordan came to Houston or the day that JV came back to Houston? Yainer fouls this one into the crowd.
How do you feel?
I love August 1st.
And August 1st has been kind to the Houston Astros. I've got Yordan ahead of JV for now.
Because we've seen JV get acquired twice now.
Yeah, and there's nothing more epic than the first time he got picked up. This is a great pickup at the right time, but I think he's back home where he belongs. But at the same time, that 2017 season with all the emotion and all the emotion that this city was feeling, and knowing that that team was good enough, they just needed that one big piece, and they went out and got it. But Yordan, come on.
I'm kind of with you. I think this stays Yordan Day.
We'll give JV July 31st. Yeah, that's fair.
That works. Yordan getting the day off today. Jose Altuve should have the day off tomorrow. The Astros trying to rest some of their guys coming off the IL as Yainer Diaz goes down, and Gavin Williams was locked in that inning, strikes out Abreu, McCormick, and Diaz in a 1-2-3 second.
Some of the numbers on JV. How about lowest ERAs since 2017? That'd be a nice rotation right there. Jacob deGrom is at the top. Justin Verlander right there in second place. with a 2.65. Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer round out those 4 great pitchers. Interesting note on the bottom, only 4 pitchers with a sub-3 ERA on that list. Justin Verlander coming back with that Astros uniform on. Model of consistency.
We were anticipating Dana Brown joining us top of the 3rd inning. He will pop in the booth at some point. He told us the other day that he usually watches the game live and then watches the game on 8-second delay on his TV monitor in the suite. So he may hear this message in 8 seconds that he was supposed to be in the booth.
He's big leaguing us. Made this big old trade, and I was like, oh, I'll show up when I want.
TK and Blummer, you're on my time.
Hey, that was a big one.
Oh,
I'll give him a little grace.
absolutely.
But it would be nice if he got in here.
He will. He'll bounce in here. 1-1 the count to Gabriel Arias. Framber Valdez retiring 6 batters of the first 6 he has faced with 3 strikeouts, a couple of groundouts, and a flyout. And there's that curveball, Blummer, which you said really looks good tonight.
Yeah, there's good shape to it. It's one thing Framber will do. He'll work in between those starts, and I would imagine he had plenty to think about. Gets a check swing on that one or not.
Yeah, Maldi didn't know if he was supposed to chase that down or not, but Arias does check his swing. It's 2-2. So another example of how good the curveball is. He almost got a swing on a pitch that was about on the plate. Arias will get some regular reps at shortstop now. Swing and a miss. That's 4 strikeouts for Framber, the first 7 outs tonight. Now a word from Reliant.
Reliant, official energy provider of the Houston Astros.
5 strikeouts for Framber.
It's a lot, TK. The curveball's working. Last 4 strikeouts have been on that curveball.
There's a strike to Miles Straw. We're getting the update from Dana Brown that he will be in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And Framber's getting to that 0-2 count a lot tonight.
It's going to be frightening if he's able to work that 2-seamer on the inside corner to right-handed hitters.
Swing and just a piece for Straw to stay alive. Miles, 2 years and 2 days removed from the trade that sent him from Houston to Cleveland, with Yainer Diaz and Phil Maton coming back. At the time, a lot of people questioned that deal. Miles Straw was getting regular reps in center field, stealing some bases. This ball sent to center. It looked like he was going to be the guy that kind of took the place of George Springer out there, but since then, we've seen a variety of center fielders, but tonight it's Jake Myers playing out there as he makes the play for out number 2. That has proven to be a trade that was maybe not met initially with great public response, but it's turned out to be a really good trade for the Astros.
It's been fantastic.
We didn't even know how to pronounce Yainer's name initially. We're like, well, we've heard of Phil Maton. He's pitched for the Guardians.
Yeah, that's pretty standard.
Yeah, but we're like, who's this other Diaz guy? He was at Class A at the time.
Little did we know he was going to have that much pop in that stick. And be a pretty good catcher, too.
That's the one thing, right? Is that all we heard about was this guy can swing it, but still needs to work on things defensively, and he has had a great year defensively. Tonight, DHing for the Astros.
Ooh, credit to his barber, too.
That's pretty
Fade
tight.
is tight.
It is.
Wow.
1-1 pitch is off the plate, 2-1. Got to look good heading to New York tomorrow, Blue.
You ain't lying. Big road trip for the Astros. Granted, they've got to take care of the Guardians right here, but once they get on that plane and head north, they've got a lot of cool stuff waiting for them. Justin Verlander, one of them, and the Yankee fans, the other.
Yeah, that will not be an easy trip. You've got the Yankees for 4, and then you've got Baltimore for 3.
I'm kind of looking forward to that. Should be interesting.
Astros usually bring out their best when they're playing against the best. The Yankees are losing again tonight, 5-0. Yankees were not real aggressive at the trade deadline. Picking up a couple of pitchers, Keenan Middleton from the White Sox and Spencer Howard from the Rangers. Jake Myers has to move to his left to make this play. Cam Gallagher flies out. Framber Valdez off and racing. 3 innings in. Point to whoever you want. You're looking good tonight, Framber.
Wherever they go for only $34.99. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Sale ends August 6th. Visit MLB.tv for details. TK and Blummer with a special guest in the booth.
Dana Brown just completed your first Major League Baseball trade deadline. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah. Hey, let's start right with the big question. When you woke up this morning, did you think you were getting Justin Verlander?
I've had a good feeling about it. I mean, we felt like we were already in talks for a couple of days, and so we did a full court press on this one, and so we felt like we were getting closer, and we were just trying to iron out like the player side of it, the prospects.
That's always the issue, isn't it? I know that there might be kind of a split party in your office saying we need the prospects. The other part's going, we need to win now. How did that go?
Yeah, that's always the tough part because, building a championship club, you always want to keep, your prospects, and sometimes these guys are going to keep everything sustainable. And then you have that other side where you're like, well, we're in the window. Our window is open all the time to win and win championships. And so you have to balance it out, and you have to make some tough decisions.
Jake Myers leads off here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. As you made those tough decisions, obviously the 2 names that go back, Drew Gilbert and then Ryan Clifford, it seems like Clifford had a lot of momentum going this year with a lot of teams interested in him. And according to Jim Callis of Baseball America, he was about to move up to the number 2 prospect for the Astros. This ball is fouled down the right field line. I guess that was a tough deal to have to trade 2 guys who have that much of a ceiling.
Yeah, very difficult to trade those guys. I've always said when you're making trades, try to stay out of the middle of the field. You don't want to give up center fielders, shortstops, second basemen, and catchers. These guys, we know that they're prospects. We know they're everyday major league players. And we felt like it's going to hurt. And anytime you acquire talent like Justin Verlander, whatever you give up, it's going to hurt. And it's going to hurt, but we feel like we got this opportunity to win the World Series again, so we went for it.
So you felt that starting pitching was going to be the route you were going. Was Justin at the top of that list, or were there other teams that you were looking at?
Yeah, Verlander was definitely among the top of the starters. We started thinking it was going to be very difficult to get a starter, though, because there were so many buyers and not enough sellers. And so we were like, you know what, we do have a pretty good rotation. Let's shorten the game. Let's get a big-time guy on the back end of the bullpen and see if that works. And then we saw him become available, and we jumped on it.
Jake Myers jumps on that 2-2 pitch and singles into center field to start the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Dana Brown, our guest in the booth, general manager of the Astros. So you will always have your legacy tied to your first trade deadline. You pick up a guy who's got 3 Cy Young Awards and 3 no-hitters. After you exhaled when that was finally done, were you close to anything else happening today?
Yeah, we were talking about getting a left-handed pitcher for the bullpen. And we had made a couple trade talks, and we were getting closer, but we never got there.
Was it kind of interesting to see what the Mets did this kind of trade deadline? They went out there really this offseason, kind of threw the bank at everybody to load up that roster, but once they felt that they were not going to be in it, a lot of their guys became available, right?
Yeah, and so we were sitting there going, are they going to trade or what are they going to do? And so as soon as we found out that they were going to trade, we jumped on it because we know that they spent a lot of money in this offseason.
And after spending that money, how interesting was that conversation? Because you did give up 2 coveted prospects, but I think that was interesting to see how the deal unfolded as far as the monetary issues you guys were able to negotiate and made this deal that much more appealing for having Justin Verlander here, not just to finish off this season, but maybe for next year and more.
Yeah, the tough part for me is always the prospects, though. Money, we used to say in scouting, money doesn't play, so you need players to play, and so that's why we were always in the business of acquiring players. And so, at the end of the day, when you have to give up young prospects, it's very difficult, regardless of, who you're acquiring. It's just really difficult. And so when you get a guy like Verlander, you feel a lot better because it increases your chances of winning.
0-2 the count to Martin Maldonado. Myers was off with that last pitch that was fouled back. Long hold for Gavin Williams and delivers a little foul ball back our way, and That literally bounced right in front of the
had
GM.
A chance.
We don't see it because it's in the overhang.
He didn't even flinch.
I knew where it was going.
It hit right here.
It hit the back of my computer.
It did?
Yeah. No, it bounced
okay?
and hit the back of my computer. Yeah, we're good.
Dana Brown showing that he is still got his playing days.
Yeah, you got to have the heartbeat for this.
You have no heartbeat as the ball bounced right in front of you. Hey, how was it? Like you were told, probably talking to Alex and other guys you've worked with in the past, what the trade deadline would be like. Did it live up to it? Was it as exciting? Was it adrenaline rush? How did it go for you?
Yeah, it's mass confusion. You're talking to all these GMs about their players, and you're trying to figure out. It's literally day to day because of the way things are set up with the postseason and the wild cards. So one team today may feel like they're buyers, and the next day they may feel like they're sellers, and so it was real difficult trying to iron that out. And then once you iron that out, now you got to talk to them about their players to get the players right and the trade right. So it's kind of chaotic.
Did you get a chance to go down in the clubhouse and kind of get a feel for the guys and talk to them a little bit about that trade?
Yeah, the guys are excited. I mean, did you see Bregman's interview? He's pretty fired up. And, talking to Dusty, he's fired up. Talking to the pitching coaches, they're fired up. And some of these guys on the pitching staff, they're fired up. So I think the group is fired up, and they can't wait to get there, for him to get here. And so we're excited. And I got a chance to talk to Justin, and it was a very good conversation.
Strikeout, and the throw is in time to get Myers.
Looked like he was safe.
Yeah, I'm not too sure that call is going to stand up. Kind of curious to see how it unfolds with that replay.
For now, it's a strike him out, throw him out. Here's another look. Dana Brown, what do you see?
I thought he got his hand in there. There it is. Safe. Wow. He's out.
They're not going to challenge it.
Interesting. Maybe he hit his foot, his hand.
On that hip?
Yeah, I would have challenged that.
So that's a strike him out, throw him out double play. 2 outs in the inning. You mentioned before you knew you were going to acquire a starter that we know Jose Urquidy's coming back. Do you think at this point when you add a Verlander to go along with Urquidy, are you thinking about a 6-man rotation?
Well, it's always pitching, and so we can go to a 6-man or we could do a 5-man rotation. I'm going to have some conversations with the guys downstairs, and we'll figure it out. But when you can acquire this type of talent, you just set your rotation up for success, and hopefully this will play out the way we expect it.
That should help your bullpen out a little bit too. So I ain't seen those last 6 starts from Justin. Things are kind of trending in the right direction, and he's starting to get some depth in those outings, right?
Yeah, and some of our guys were taxed. I mean, we, as well as you guys know, you guys have been in the postseason multiple times before I got here, and so now we have a lot of guys with a lot of innings, and these guys are taxed a little bit. And so bringing in reinforcement with someone like Justin Verlander, it's a good thing. And so maybe we could spell the pin a little bit because they were carrying us a lot in the first half. And it sets us up to be on all cylinders right there toward the end.
Between the draft and the deadline, are you taxed?
Yeah, I am taxed. And I'm off of coffee also. So I'm a little bit moody.
Timing.
What? You're off of coffee?
Yeah, I think I was.
Timing.
I was drinking coffee like they were like Skittles. I was just going down good, and I'm like saying, "Oh man, why am I feeling the way I feel? My blood pressure was up a little bit. I better calm down." So I had to back off coffee for a little bit. I'm coming back though. I'll be back.
Will you be on this next trip, or will you see Justin on the next homestand?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to the Northeast. Are you guys kidding me?
Okay, yeah, that's your old stomping grounds.
Let's go.
That's your old stomping grounds. Yeah.
So what'd you do to celebrate the big trade? Anything? Or do you have something planned after the game?
I just called my wife, and we kind of talked about it a little bit, and she's fired up for me, of course, because she knows I'm going through this for the first time. And so that was my celebration until I get home tonight. Now I may have like a nice glass of red wine. I'll be excited.
How many?
They actually sleep pretty good too, right?
Yeah, you can sleep really well after a long day like this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, you'll have a lot of text to catch up with as well.
No doubt, no doubt.
Jeremy Pena with a 3-0 count. Pena doubled into the left center field gap his last time up. Now, Dana, as we go to the present, as we see a 4-pitch walk here, this lineup getting thicker and thicker with the additions of Jose Altuve and Yordan Alvarez off the IL. I'm sure you felt like you never want to see those guys hurt, but some other guys really made a step up during that time when they got more at-bats, and now your lineup's probably as good as it's been all year.
Yeah, we're excited that they're all back, and it feels like we're getting multiple pieces in a trade because, you know, we didn't have Jordan for a while. We missed Altuve for a while. And now that we have these guys back in the lineup, I think our lineup is coming together. I think our rotation's coming together. We hung in there the whole year, mixing and matching. Dusty was doing a good job of mixing and matching. We were bringing guys up and down from AAA, and we stayed real close. We're half a game back with all the guys back. And, you know, hey, we got Verlander, so we're excited.
How amazing has it been to understand that Hunter Brown was that one guy that had all the prospect touts and had all the spotlights on him coming into this season, but it's really been J.P. France. It's been that kind of steady force in that rotation. Did you guys expect any of that?
Yeah, we knew that he was capable of being, you know, a pretty good starter. But to see it all come together, you know, the sneaky fastball, the really good changeup, the breaking ball that's got really good bite to it. And so right before our eyes, we're seeing a young man come in here and give us quality starts.
Kyle Tucker bats with 2 on and 2 out. All Astros Nation is happy about the trade today, and especially the people that had Justin Verlander jerseys that can wear them again.
Yeah.
They're bringing them back out. They're all looking for their 35s now.
That's outstanding.
So Kyle Tucker has been, we mentioned guys that stepped up. Kyle Tucker and Chas McCormick in the month of July had huge months. And now we turn it over to August as Tuck has a chance to add to his RBI total. Those guys, Alex Bregman, they can help really carry you in the month of July.
Yeah, and some of those guys started off a little cold, and then, you know, particularly Bregman heated up really nicely. We were excited that he started to really pound the baseball. And Tuck's pretty steady for the most part, and, you know, once he got hot, it took him over 300, and he's been crushing the balls.
You know what I find kind of interesting about the couple of trades that you made, Kendall Graveman coming back, Justin Verlander coming back, so it kind of eliminated the opportunity for you to have to dig even deeper on these guys, because all you had to do in order to find something about the guys you were trading for is go in that clubhouse and ask them what they thought, so you didn't have to worry about that X factor or the intangible of how they were going to affect your clubhouse.
Yeah, makeup and chemistry is very important, particularly on winning teams, and so we were able to go downstairs, and these guys really love those guys, so bringing them back, that's a major plus.
That one gets away. 2-2 pitch goes wide, and the count goes full with Altuve moving to third and Jeremy Pena moving to second. Well, Dana, we really appreciate the time. I know coming into this trade deadline you were trying to be aggressive, and then when you saw the Rangers get 2 relievers and 2 starters and they get a catcher late today, that kind of helped force your decision too, right? That you had to kind of match that or be aggressive as well?
Well, it's tough to keep up with other clubs. I mean, because you never know, you know, fully what they need. I mean, I was so focused on our club, and we were trying to get better. And so regardless of what they did, which I thought they did a good job of going out to get some guys. And so, you know, we had to stay focused on what we had to do and make sure we got it done.
Tucker loops one into center, coming on Straw. That's going to be down for a hit. 2 runs are going to score. Kyle Tucker, RBI 73 and 74 on the year. It's 2-0 Astros.
It's good to see King Tuck continuing to swing the bat well. Month of July was very good for him. I think 359 in July. Here he tries to continue with his first base hit in the game, and he made it count for 2 RBIs with 2 outs. Just off the end of the bat with that changeup at 89. Just kind of fluttered it right in front of Miles Straw. A couple of speedy base runners score easily for the Astros, and they're on the board.
Good luck with you in the booth.
Hey, that comes with those line drives that he hit that don't fall.
Right.
Yeah, we like to see that balance out when it means RBI.
Yeah,
if only it did.
We need Corey Julks to get a flare or a broken bat hit sometime soon, because he has been hitting some bad luck. Here's the guy you were talking about earlier with Alex Bregman. Bregman second on the team in runs batted in, grounded out his first time up, and Alex takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Yeah, he's been dialed in lately, and I like his takes. They're very good, and so he's been really on the baseball. So I think if the pitcher makes a mistake, he's going to have to pay.
Alex last night drew a couple of walks, up to 58 walks on the year. Leads the team in that category, but he's 0-2 here to Gavin Williams.
After watching the Astros from afar for the last couple of years and now spending your first 2/3 of the season watching this ball club, has there been anything in this organization or with this ball club that's kind of surprised you?
No, not at all. I mean, these guys, they could always pitch and they always catch the baseball, and we knew they can hit. And so at the end of the day, this is a very good club. I made that clear when I came in as the general manager, and I just wanted to, maybe add some pieces to it and, fight through the injuries that we had and try to make wise roster decision moves. And so with the help of the front office, and all the work that we do there, our guys work tirelessly trying to be creative and get some deals done, and they do an outstanding job.
Bregman down in the count 0-2. Tucker was off with the last pitch, stays here, and Bregman takes one up for a ball. 1-2. How much did you discuss or text with Alex Anthopoulos during the course of this trade deadline? I know you guys are obviously very close.
Yeah, Alex he's definitely a mentor for me. Going through my first year, as a general manager and watching him do it year after year for more than 10 years. So he's definitely an influence.
Dana, we really appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, guys,
great
for
job.
having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Let's go get it.
Enjoy that glass of wine tonight.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Dana Brown joining us. Astros scored 2 runs. It's 2-0 Houston. All right, D. Brown. Humber Valdez working with a lead for the first time. Thanks to Dana Brown for joining us in the booth tonight. Talking a little bit about the trade deadline as the Astros acquire Justin Verlander for 2 outfield prospects, 2 of their top rated prospects on MLB.com. Stephen Kwan takes a first pitch fastball off the plate for a ball, 1-0. It'll be Kwan, Tyler Freeman, and Jose Ramirez, top 3 in the Guardians lineup. That one catches the bottom of the zone. And it's 1-1. Plummer, do you see that text? What's back at the team store?
Let me check. I just saw. Does it have something to do with a 3 and a 5?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're back. Some Space City Verlander jerseys are out there in the team store already. Ground ball. Altuve to his left will spin around and make the play on Kwan. Good decision by Abreu too to let Altuve make that play. There's one away.
Well, I thought you were going to talk about Tom Jennings getting those Verlander jerseys out so quickly.
Yeah, that too.
Team store is going to be kind of vibing a little bit, having those 35s back out there. Verlander on the back of them.
I remember there was like a minute earlier this summer where they said DeAndre Hopkins was maybe coming back to the Texans. I'm like, yeah, my jersey's coming back.
Right? Now you know the feeling, right?
So I know the feeling.
It's crazy.
All these fans that had 35. It still wore it because it's an Astros jersey, but now they have Verlander back wearing his 35 for Houston.
Get it for next year, possibly 2025.
You see one of those Verlander jerseys here tonight. That ball in the dirt. It's 1-1. So it is a social media Tuesday. You can send your posts and use the hashtag Stros Tuesday tonight. A little chopper. Bregman makes the play. Tyler Freeman retired for the second out of the inning.
It's been strikeouts and soft contact for Fromber.
So Baron Honea, H-O-N-E-A, said, my dad is 82 years old. It's the first time in my lifetime I've heard him use the word giddy.
Oh, wow.
Stros Tuesday.
Never too late to add a word to your vocabulary.
That is obviously a reaction to Justin Verlander being acquired. Sam Fowler says Stros get one of the best leaders in the game. Sure, fans wanted more, but they addressed the biggest need with a starting pitcher. We literally love Justin Verlander. I've heard that somewhere before. There's a strike.
It's hard not to, considering everything he's done in an Astros uniform.
Historically, I mean,
yeah,
you're getting a Hall of Fame pitcher. We know he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He is one of 2 in the history of the game. 2 guys who have had 3 or more Cy Young awards. and 3 or more no-hitters. He and Sandy Koufax.
Oh, my.
One from the right side, one from the left side. Justin Verlander is one of just 2 in the history of the game to accomplish that.
And we'll just throw in 2 World Series championships for you if you're looking for extras.
His last 2 full seasons as an Astro, he won Cy Youngs. Framber doesn't even realize he just struck out one of the better hitters in the game.
Yeah.
Framber's just so locked in. He just calmly moving to the dugout after he retires Jose Ramirez with another 1-2-3 inning.
Summer is the perfect time to become a Buddies member. Sign up for the Astros Buddies Club presented by HEB for $30 and receive an exclusive jersey, unique experiences, Astros tickets, and more. Visit astros.com/buddies.
Jose Abreu will lead things off here in the 4th inning, facing the young right-hander Gavin Williams. He struck out his first time up. Williams with 5 strikeouts in the last 9 batters he's faced. But the Astros also bunched 3 hits and a walk and a couple of runs in that last inning. Delivers a 95-mile-an-hour fastball for a strike. It's 1-1. Start number 8 in Gavin Williams' career. It's his 3rd start on the road. He pitched very well against Kansas City on the road back in the final start of June for him. He went 7 innings of 1-hit shutout baseball. He's also pitched against the Rangers on the road, went 5 innings of 2-run baseball that night against the highest scoring offense in major leagues. Last 2 outings he's gone 4 innings against the Phillies and Kansas City at home. He's a guy that they will generally keep in the low to mid 90s for his ceiling on his pitch count. Had to throw 30 pitches last inning to get through the 3rd. 3-1 pitch is up. That'll be ball 4. Second walk allowed by Williams. And Abreu will lead off base runner here in the 4th. Williams has walked at least 2 now in his last 4 starts. Here's Chas McCormick.
I feel like that first time through, the Astros just kind of feeling out what Gavin Williams was going to go up there and try and do. Now you start to pick up that baseball out of the release point. Some of that command maybe wavering a little bit for Williams and making mistakes out over the plate. We're seeing some better swings this second time through.
Chas also struck out. Williams struck out the side in the second, getting Abreu, McCormick, and Diaz. Pitch inside, it's 1-1. Rangers are at home tonight, kicking off a series against the Chicago White Sox. That game's in the 5th inning, scoreless, both teams with a hit each. That one pulled wide. It's 2-1.
Trump cam.
There you go.
Chas cam, Trump cam.
Good take on 97 off the plate, and now Chas in a hitter's count, 3-1. Same count Jose Abreu was in before he drew a walk. Williams starting to lose the zone a little bit in this inning, as he has missed with 7 of the 9 pitches in the 4th. And that's another good take by McCormick. That'll be back-to-back walks for the Astros. So first and second with nobody out for Yainer Diaz. Carl Willis will trot out and have a word with his young 23-year-old right-hander Gavin Williams. Now a word from Jack in the Box.
Yo, Jack, that a baked brownie in my munchie meal?
You know it, Snoop.
Say less.
Well, Williams in his 8th career start has had a little bit of issue with walks. He had 17 walks in 37 innings coming in, 37 2/3. Trying to get The young right-hander out of East Carolina back into the zone, and now the home plate umpire Quinn Walcott said that's about enough. Been rather casually saying it. Now the meeting breaks up. Well, there's Yiner. Yiner having a good homestand. He's already driven in 7 runs in 19 at-bats, now 20 with an 0 for 1 tonight. Hitting an even 300 on this homestand, 6 for 20 with 7 runs batted in. Goes after that first pitch, breaking ball 0-1. Guardians last night walked 9 Astros. 7 of them out of the bullpen. Only struck out 2 Houston hitters. I got in on him, and Yiner pops a foul, playable. David Fry makes the catch for the first out of the inning. I'll bring up Jake Myers. Myers had a good at bat, singling into center field his first time up.
Jake had a good at bat his first at bat, fouled off some tough pitches, 2-strike base hit back up the middle.
Taking 96 in. For ball 2, it's 2-0. Jake having a good homestand, now 5 for 12 with that hit last inning. Half swing towards second. Only 1 play to be made for Tyler Freeman. He retires Myers for the second out. Now 2 in scoring position with Chaz going to second and Abreu going to third. Martin Maldonado will bat. He struck out and turned out to be a strike him out, throw him out double play his first time up.
Big swing from Maldi right there, trying to get large.
He was looking to ambush that first pitch. Breaking ball has him down in the count 0-2. Maldi uses timeout here. Astros with 4 hits. They've drawn 3 walks. Man, if that was Maldi catching.
Oh, he would have made that play.
Against Maldi hitting.
Yeah.
He always goes after those loose balls after it deflects off his glove. I don't think Cam Gallagher ever saw where it was.
Yeah, with that right in front of him, Maldi would have caught that casually and rolled it back on top of the mound for the end of the inning.
He's always going for that tip drill. Foul tip, this time caught by Gallagher, so Maldonado strikes out to end the inning. A couple of walks to start do not hurt Gavin Williams. Good visit by Carl Willis. 2-0 Houston after 4.
On the mound in Austin. August, Fromber tends to pitch really well. Look at his numbers in August. So we're talking 128, a little more than that innings pitched, 127 strikeouts. He's 13-5 with a great ERA. Something about it as the season goes on, he seems to get stronger. We've seen that from him, especially last year all the way down the stretch. And his first 4 innings or so here in August this year, TK, pretty good?
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, it's been about as good as possible for Fromber, as he has faced 12 Guardians thus far, now facing the number 4 hitter, Oscar Gonzalez. Fromber with a half dozen strikeouts, also has 3 outs on ground outs and 3 outs on flyouts so far, as Gonzalez will lead things off. 4, 5, and 6, Gonzalez, David Fry, and Will Brennan. Pitch down for a ball, 1-0. Fromber with a good pitch count going through 4, 47 pitches through 4, averaging less than 12 pitches per inning. Fromber has dropped a little bit in the rankings, moving down in the ERA column to number 8 in the American League after his 6 runs allowed last start against the Texas Rangers, but he is still at the top in ground ball percentage, and he is still amongst the leaders in innings pitched per start. Swing and a miss, 1-2 the count.
It's kind of back to his old Fromber ways too. Just throwing that sinker and curveball so far primarily in this game. Handful of change-ups and cutters mixed in there.
Little bouncing ball foul. Fromber at 6.3 innings pitched per start, currently 4th in the majors, trailing only Nathan Eovaldi in the American League. Also Santi Alcantara and Logan Webb. Just a little bit more innings pitched per start by a fraction. Ahead of Gonzalez, 1-2. Staying alive. Cleveland came into this series dead even at 500 on the year, 53-53. They have made a couple of moves at the trade deadline that have not enhanced the team, with Aaron Savali being moved, and then today Josh Bell going to Miami. Terry Francona's always been a manager to get the most out of his squad. He'll have a challenge this year, even though nobody in that Central is really lighting it on fire. It's now 3-2 to Gonzalez.
He's always seemed to be one of those managers that does a good job of understanding personnel and who's in his clubhouse and how to motivate them. And I think that's what it's kind of interesting to watch some of these older managers adapt to, being able to handle those rosters. Fromber loses Gonzalez, and he'll put him on with his first walk and first base runner in this game.
Pretty good AB there for Gonzalez after getting down in the count to foul off some 2-strike pitches before the first walk, and now Fromber will face Dave Fry.
I would imagine it's probably a test for even Tito, with all of his experience, to watch his team be a game behind in first place and watch players leave his clubhouse instead of come into the clubhouse.
And the Twins really didn't do much at the deadline, but by default they may have improved just because Cleveland kind of went in the other direction. It's 1-1 the count to Fry. Twins have lost 5 in a row but lead the division by a game. Minnesota leading St. Louis tonight in their game. That ball hit high in the air to left center field, pretty deep, but Jake Myers has it lined up. That's the first out of the inning.
This week on Astros Bases Loaded, the Astros come through in the clutch and surge in the standings. A former Astro finds his groove in Sugar Land, and Mike Stanton gets into the swing of things with Alex Bregman. All that and more on Astros Bases Loaded after the postgame show.
Here's Will Brennan. Grounded out to third his first time. Part of our Social Tuesday, asking you about your reaction to the trade deadline. A lot of fans are chiming in. Tiger Kaufman said that he's as excited as Fromber in a 10,000-gallon barrel of peanuts. That is really excited.
Extremely.
Ground ball towards second. Altuve to Pena for one. Jeremy makes the turn for the double play. Fromber gets another double play. Turn behind him. He has still faced the minimum after that leadoff walk in the fifth. We're halfway home. Astros lead this game 2-0. Sage, official finance software partner of Major League Baseball. And buy Rooms to Go. Buy the piece, save a little. Buy the whole room, save a lot. Astros lead 2-0 heading to the bottom half of the fifth inning. Top of the order due up. Jose Altuve 1 for 2 with a run scored. Takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. Gavin Williams has allowed 4 hits, 3 walks. He has also struck out 6 and allowed 2 runs tonight, both on the Kyle Tucker 2-out, 2 RBI single to center field. Williams starts the inning with 73 pitches. We mentioned he's usually low to mid-90s for his pitch count cap. So this could be his final inning, depending on how efficient he is. 1-1 pitch is wide. It's 2-1. Well, the Guardians only had a 2-man bench today, with Josh Naylor being scratched due to some soreness in his side. So it's only Bo Naylor, his brother, who's a catcher, and Andres Jimenez, an infielder. Jimenez now in the game. He's at second base as he has taken over for Tyler Freeman. So now Terry Francona has a 1-man bench in the 5th inning of a baseball game. It's not ideal.
No, that doesn't sound like fun at all.
Especially when that one man is a catcher. Altuve with that hit his last time up to a 5-game hitting streak. Sends this one to center field. Straw backs up on it. He'll have room. Miles Straw makes the catch for out number 1. I'll bring up Jeremy Pena. Pena double at 107.1 off his bat, then a walk and a run scored his last time up. Pitch from Williams is wide for a ball, 1-0. Astros play tonight against Cleveland and tomorrow against the Guardians, and that trip to New York and Baltimore for 7 games. In fact, after tomorrow, the Astros will have 53 games remaining on the schedule. Pena shoots one foul. It's 1-1. 53 games after tomorrow, and 20 of those 53 will be against 3 teams in the AL East. They have not yet played the Yankees this year. They have not yet played Baltimore this year, and they have not yet played Boston this season. So they'll get close to 40% of their schedule against those 3 AL East teams. The Astros will have an impact on that division race, as all those teams in that division are at least 4 games over 500.
So it's going to be a little bit different than playing the American League Central. And I do think it's interesting that they will have an impact on that American League East race. Tough sledding in front of them, but that's what the Astros have become accustomed to over the last couple of years.
The only team within the division that the Astros have multiple series remaining is the Seattle Mariners. They will play Seattle in a home series and a road series the rest of the way out, but just one more series against Texas, the Los Angeles Angels, and of course the Rangers. The A's. Ball punched foul, stays 2-2. Right now, there's 11 teams in the American League that are within 5 games of a playoff spot. Only Kansas City, Chicago, Detroit, and Oakland not within 5 games of a playoff at the trade deadline. That's one of the reasons why it was so tough for teams trying to find a starting pitcher.
Well, all you had to do was call the Chicago White Sox and they were going to pick up the phone. They traded 6 pitchers, a couple of starters, relievers.
Wow.
That was unbelievable. Somehow Dylan Cease is still there.
Yeah, they have a little control with Dylan, so they wanted to keep him around. We were never sure if Dylan was going to be traded, but pretty much every other starter that was rumored to be on the block ended up getting traded. Maybe not Eduardo Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He did not go.
He didn't want to go that place.
2-2 the count to Pena. That went off the plate, 3-2. Oh, Jeremy with some good takes tonight. Good plate appearances. Seeing his 9th pitch of this plate appearance. And again, pushing that pitch count closer to that Gavin Williams threshold. That's inside, ball 4. Another walk drawn by Jeremy Pena, on base for the 3rd time tonight. All right, who you got, Chaz or Tuck? Tuck or Chaz? It's flip a coin.
You're not going to be wrong. Both doing damage. How about Chaz? A little bit of a lead in that WRC plus category. Taking an analytic advantage over Kyle Tucker by 5 points, 5 runs. RBIs tied. OPS almost tied up too.
Yeah, Tuck caught him last night with a couple of RBIs. Chaz had the night off. But hopefully it's one of those guys that we'll find out in the next few days winning the American League Player of the Month award.
Should be coming to Houston, right?
I think so. I mean, there were some other guys that had good season or good months, but those 2 guys seem to stand out.
Yeah, it feels like they did a little more of a well-rounded job.
How about that play by Jimenez, getting the out at second, and he almost turned 2. Tucker beats the throw, but Jimenez just in the game makes that play for the 2nd out. Julia?
No Player Does More is presented by HEB as Alex Bregman comes up here. He finished off July hitting over 300 in his last 16 games, so that rolls him right into August, and a month that he does well over the course of his career. But last year, when Player of the Month, and you guys were just talking about that award, hitting 362 that month with 7 home runs, scored 27. And he said earlier, we haven't played our best baseball yet, so he is looking forward to playing his best baseball and the club playing their best baseball here over the last couple months of the season together.
Yeah, form holds. Then you've got Bregman and Abreu about to get hot. You've got Tucker and Chaz, who just could be 1-2 and Player of the Month for July. And we haven't even mentioned Altuve and Alvarez coming off the IL. And
we've already mentioned 7 of 9 guys in a lineup. I mean, how much more do you want, TK?
How about the career for Breggy when he plays in August? This is very similar to the numbers we saw for Jose Abreu.
And it makes a lot of sense for Alex, too. He's one of those guys that just kind of gets off to a slow start, but once things start to heat up and you start to get into contention, this is when this guy thrives and steps up. And he had a pretty good last couple of weeks of July, so hopefully that kind of snowballs and rolls into August.
And to Dusty Baker's credit, Jeremy was not having great at-bats lower in the lineup. He puts him in that 2 spot. And we've seen some really much better at-bats from JP the last week or so.
Yeah, he seems comfortable in that 2 spot.
3-0 to Bregman as the Guardians get their bullpen going. Breggy hardly ever swings at a 3-0 pitch. He did twice against Justin Verlander, and in honor of the Justin Verlander trade, he does it again tonight. Flies out to right to end the inning.
All fans will receive a Kyle Tucker replica ring courtesy of Air National Guard. Get your tickets now at astros.com/promotions. Tickets.
All right, Julia, 6th inning baseball. It's still 2-0. Astros have had a lot more chances than the Guardians at this point. As you can see, 5 left on to none for Cleveland. Robert Valdez will have Gabriel Arias, Miles Straw, and Cam Gallagher here in the 6th inning. Fromber again with that good pitch count going. 12 pitches per inning. Starts the inning having thrown 60 pitches. And he gets a first pitch swing here from Arias. Alex Bregman on one big hop makes the play. One pitch, one out in the sixth. It is a social Tuesday, so we're reading some of your posts tonight. You can go ahead and hashtag Stros Tuesday if you want to have your post read on the broadcast. Tamara said, I'm over the moon about JV being back. Hate seeing top prospects go, but if we can lock King Tuck in, I think we'll be absolutely fine. With all this energy, we'll go deep this postseason. So one of the things you talked about with Dana Blummer that was interesting and is part of the deal is the Astros aren't footing the whole bill, or not even, close to it. It's pretty fair split with how much the Mets picked up.
Yeah, they really stepped up in that sense, and I think that's probably why they asked for so much as far as prospects are concerned, because we knew that Ryan Clifford was going to be a key piece in some of these trade talks and eventually going to New York. But at the same time, when you have that much of the contract picked up, so Straw lines out to his buddy in right field for the second out of the inning. But what that does is it kind of alleviates some of the pressure of getting above that competitive balance tax that the New York Mets were paying so much on, but it also keeps the Astros below that CBT. But it opens up the opportunity in the future to possibly maybe extend a guy like Kyle Tucker, you hope.
Well, let's hope so. Tucker and Fromber Valdez, two key guys in this run for the Astros. Still have another year before they have to determine exactly what happens with them, but that time is starting to dwindle if they want to sign either or both to a long-term deal. Cam Gallagher, the batter, flying out to center field, his first time up. Easy play for Jeremy Pena. Fromber takes the glove off his hand and starts to stroll as soon as that ball was hit to Jeremy. A 6-pitch, sixth inning. 11 pitches per inning for Fromber. He is rolling along. Done since May 2nd. He has been one of the best pitchers in the Astros system. He has moved all the way up to AAA at sub-3 ERA. Opponents hitting less than 200. Arrighetti striking out almost 12 per 9. 71 in the third innings. The Astros did give up some talent this year at the trade deadline, trading 3 of their top prospects. Corey Lee going to the White Sox, and Drew Gilbert, Ryan Clifford going to the New York Mets, but they still have guys like Spencer Arrighetti, Jacob Melton that'll now be moving towards the top of those lists.
Now, there's going to be some other guys jumping onto that list too that maybe you haven't heard about, but do have the possibility of being the future of the Astros. New pitcher in this ball game is Xavion Curry. 57 in the third innings pitched, sub-3 ERA. He's got 4 pitches, fastball averaging right around 93 miles an hour. Has a curveball, a slider you just saw, and a split.
Guardians get 5 innings out of Gavin Williams today. He worked around 4 walks, also allowed 4 hits, but held the Astros to just a couple of runs. Astros stranding 5 in the first 5 innings. Abreu has struck out and walked. And Jose hits a high fly ball to left field. Back on it goes Kwan. He's at the wall, and he will have room to put it away for the first out. Abreu got under that one. And that's the first out of the 6th inning. I'll bring up Chas McCormick. Chas also with a strikeout and a walk tonight. 13 walks allowed by Cleveland pitching the last 2 games. Last night it was mostly the bullpen that issued the walks. The Guardians bullpen, which has been their strength all year long, has not been as good since the All-Star break. One of the reasons why they kind of made those projections and said at 500 we're a team that might be able to hang in this AL Central race, but what would happen once they get to the postseason? They didn't feel good about their chances. This is still a team that can win the division, but they have definitely made moves to try and improve in the future in the last few days as opposed to the present. 1-1 the count to McCormick.
Kind of stirred the pot a little bit right there with that thought, TK. What if the Indians do find a way under Tito Francona to go out there and just shock the world in the American League Central and win some ball games down the stretch and surprise everybody and win the division? What happens in Minnesota? They didn't make any moves.
No, you're right.
That would be a front office I'd be tiptoeing around.
Minnesota's leading their game tonight 3-1. That is truly, there's truly the possibility that the division winner is going to have between 81 and 85 wins in that AL Central. It would be surprising if anybody got to 90 wins. Curry comes in and strikes out McCormick. Second time Chaz has gone down on strikes. Now a message from TXU Energy. So here's Yainer Diaz, former Cleveland minor leaguer who has struck out and popped up tonight. Yainer still trying to figure out that whole DH thing. It has not really gone well for him here in his rookie season. Oh, that looked good. Coming off the bench, Yainer did not look great in his first two at bats. Needed to see a different pitcher as he singles on the first pitch from Xavier Curry here in the sixth.
Sometimes that's all it takes. We saw that with Syndergaard yesterday. The Astros all of a sudden lit up the bullpen from Cleveland, but I think you're right about Yainer. He needs a couple of activities in between at bats to kind of take his mind off what's happening, because he gets in that box. He's so anxious to hit, I feel sometimes, that he's just out there swinging at that first pitch he sees. Fortunately, that was a good pitch right there that he ripped the other way going up the middle.
Yeah, as aggressive as Yainer is, one of the more aggressive hitters in the league, I feel like he's even more so when he DHs.
Could have a point. I agree.
Just doesn't have anything, like you said, to distract him from taking those hacks at the plate. It's 1-1 on Jake Myers. Coming into tonight, Yainer Diaz swing percentage was one of the highest in all of baseball. His walk percentage was second lowest.
I feel like it's one of those things that's kind of acquired from some of these young hitters, especially for the Astros. They do a good job of developing hitters that come up here and command the zone. But at the same time, you get guys like Yainer, even Corey Julks kind of fell into that too, where he was coming out swinging. And it's a good thing. You want them to be able to go out there and take those swings, but eventually they've got to make that adjustment and be a little more patient.
Jake Myers goes down on a called third strike, and that'll do it for the Astros in the sixth. One hit, one man left on base. Still a 2-0 game.
As is dealing today, and it's a return to the curve. 6 strikeouts in this ball game. 4 of them have been on that curveball. A couple on the changeup, using that two-seam fastball to set up those pitches. He's got 9 swings and misses. 6 on that curveball, 2 on the changeup, 1 on the two-seam fastball. It has been an extremely efficient ball game for Framber Valdez, as you see the line score in front of you as he starts his top of the 7th inning.
On a day where the Astros acquired Justin Verlander, Framber has been JVS tonight, only allowing that one base runner, Oscar Gonzalez, who walked in the 5th inning to start the inning. Then he was eventually erased on a double play, so Framber has faced the minimum as he faces Steven Kwan here in the 7th inning. Kwan has struck out and grounded out. Strikeout rare for Kwan. He's usually a guy that makes a lot of contact as he takes a pitch for a strike, 0-1. Framber 67 pitches in, 45 strikes. Gets a ground ball to Altuve. Easy play for Jose, and that's out number 1. Framber with 6 strikeouts, as Blummer mentioned, hasn't had a strikeout since the final out of the 4th inning, when he struck out Jose Ramirez. Andres Jimenez will get his first at bat of the game. Jimenez came in for Tyler Freeman defensively a couple of innings ago. And now he bats here with 1 out and nobody on in the 7th. slowly hit. Pena's going to have to charge. Jeremy does. That's the second out. Framber, who needed just 6 pitches to get through the 6th inning, having another efficient 7th. Time now to name that Astro, powered by Reliant. Today's clues: homegrown, 3 seasons in Cleveland. Pitchers beware. If you know who that Astro is, go ahead and send your guesses using @ATT Sportsnet SW. 2 outs, nobody on. Jose Ramirez flied out and struck out. And a first pitch strike. That's been a good pitch for him tonight.
Pretty simple. He's just been pumping the fastball early in counts, getting ahead. Allows him to take command of some of these.
Pena makes the play. Framber rolls on. Just a little bit of perspiration he has to wipe from his forehead. Keep pointing, Framber. It's been a solid night to this point. 2-0 Astros.
And as we reflect on Jordan Day, he was traded for Josh Fields. Josh Fields in a Dodgers uniform. Didn't go exactly well for him. You could see Jose Altuve and Carlos Correa hitting bombs off him in that 2017 World Series at epic Game 2 at Chavez Ravine. Astros coming back and scoring with the home run against Josh Fields. And there sits, thankfully, Yordan Alvarez.
And Scott on our social media Tuesday saying, can't we just agree to call it Verdon Day?
Now, 31st is...
Yeah, I'm with you.
These guys are giants.
Yeah.
They need their own day.
They need their own day.
Yeah, that's a lot to have in one day.
I'm with you. Speaking of trades, our statistician to the stars, Phil Boudreau, broke down all the trades the Astros have made in the history of the franchise.
Wow.
The Mets and the Astros have made 16 trades since they were franchises together back in 1962 or 69 for the Mets.
Interesting.
16 trades for the Mets and the Astros. And then there are 5 teams that have made more trades with Houston over the course of time. All National League teams.
Huh.
I'll give people a couple of beats to get the team that they traded with the most, because it's by far more than any other team, with 27 trades between the Astros and this National League team. Maldi with a count of 1-1, or 1-2 rather. Struck out a couple of times against Gavin Williams. Maldi, Jose Altuve, and Jeremy Pena leading off the bottom of the 7th. And Curry picks up a 3rd strikeout of the 4 outs he's recorded. Maldonado down for a 3rd time on strikes. So I'll go in reverse order. See, we said the Mets have made 16 trades with the Astros. Cincinnati and San Diego have made 17 trades with the Astros. They are tied for 4th. Atlanta has made 20 trades with the Astros. Philadelphia has made 21 trades with the Astros. And the team that Houston through the years has traded with more than any other franchise, with 27 trades, the St. Louis Cardinals.
Wow.
Altuve grounds one on one hop back to Curry. And that's out number 2. Commemorate the 2022 World Series with a customized brick. The World Champions Brick Program on sale now. Personalize your brick today at astros.com/bricks and cement your legacy at Minute Maid Park. Jeremy Pena having a good game, double and a couple of walks tonight. JP has been on base 3 times. Astros with 6 hits have also drawn 4 walks tonight. As Pena looks at the first one off the plate for a ball, 1-0.
Pena's kind of gotten down on those legs a little bit. It's really helped out. He's been making quite a few adjustments here over the last couple of weeks. Those hands kind of going back to that traditional waggle that he's had in the past to get those hands going a little bit. Just a nice little lift on them. Not as drastic as it has been in the past.
And he's really controlling the zone tonight.
Yeah, laying off some pitches on the edges. It's good to see. Puts him in a hitter's count.
That one didn't have to be it, but it is a strike. 2-1. the ground, past the shortstop Arias into left field. Jeremy Pena on for a 4th time tonight. 2 for 2 and a couple of walks. Have yourself a night, JP.
On base now 4 times in this ballgame with that base hit going back up the middle. That swing is under control right now. He looks great at the dish.
Lefty Sam Hentges has been warming up. The lefty Kyle Tucker is due, the only lefty in the lineup, so that's who Hentges was warming up for. Xavier Curry will leave after an inning and 2/3. We'll have a pitching change here in the 7th with the Astros leading 2-0. Powered by Reliant, homegrown, 3 seasons in Cleveland. Pitchers beware. Tonight's clues. Tonight's Name That Astro, our own Michael Bohr. Horny, Nimitz High School, University of Houston with Cleveland 2013-15, 3-time National League steals leader. Been hosting the pre and post game shows with Vanessa Richardson. Borney, tonight's Name That Astro. Lefty coming into the game for Cleveland.
It's going to be Sam Hentges. Numbers on the season aren't good against left-handed hitters. He's been giving up a .333 average, and only 2 home runs he's given up this season have been to left-handed hitters.
Gets Kyle Tucker on the first pitch to ground 1 to second. And that will do it for the Astros in the 7th inning. Pena with a hit. He's left on base. We head to the 8th. 2-0 Houston.
Heavy stroke hole. We asked, what do the Astros gain most from the return of Justin Verlander and rotation depth? It's going to be the winner of the Stroll poll, 45%. But votes going everywhere on that one. Thanks. We had a lot of votes tonight. DK?
Yeah, a lot of fans chiming in tonight. Every choice had at least 10% of the vote as Oscar Gonzalez fouls the first pitch out of play. It's 0-1. Gonzalez had about as good and a bat as anybody's had against Fromberg tonight when he got down on the count last time and eventually drew a walk. He is, to this point, the only base runner of the game for the Cleveland Guardians. Fromberg has only needed 11 pitches to get through the last 2 innings. 6 pitches in the 6th, 5 pitches in the 7th. As he faces Gonzalez to start the 8th and gets ahead 0-2. Fromberg continues to work ahead of hitters tonight, and that's been huge.
Yeah, it's been that fastball early, and then he's backed it up with that curveball. But again, kind of getting back into the mode of throwing majority sinkers and curveballs. And again, in this game, only 7 cutters, 7 changeups thrown. So the 27th curveball he threw in this game was that last pitch to Oscar.
Foul tip caught by Maldonado. That'll be, no, they're going to say it hit the ground. Could have been his 7th strikeout, but home plate umpire Quinn Walcott says it hits the ground, stays 0-2.
Walcott went straight to the baseball. You see it on the replay, tipped and into the dirt. Maldi tried to sell it.
That one down, 1-2. Fromberg bouncing back after a rough outing against the Rangers. Lasted just 3 2/3 innings in that start. And he picks up that strikeout number 7 as Maldonado shows the home plate umpire Walcott the ball. First out of the 8th.
Bundle up with the best bargain in town. Purchase the Ballpark Bundle presented by Coca-Cola for any Monday through Thursday regular season game and receive a ticket, hot dog, soda, and popcorn for just $22. To purchase your bundle, visit astros.com/ballparkbundle.
David Fry swings through the curveball, 0-1. He picked up on that curveball being sharp early, and it has been a main weapon, as you mentioned.
Yeah, it's been kind of interesting to see because last time out we noticed that curveball was not great. He gets a check swing on that one. He went around. He's got the spin rate back to normal. It's even up about 46 RPM. So it kind of gives you the indication that whatever he did in between that last start against Texas and now, it is working beautifully.
Fromberg bouncing around the mound after every pitch. He's feeling the energy tonight. Tapper foul. We've said it before on multiple starts for Framber Valdez. When this guy gets locked in, he's as good as any pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, if he can stay in that quote-unquote zone, he's as filthy as anybody in the league.
The pitch count just brilliant tonight. Tapper towards the middle. Pena has to hustle. Jeremy will make the play to get Fry for the second out. Watch tonight's Astros game tomorrow morning starting at 6 a.m. Never miss a pitch or a big play when watching the replay of the game. It is Breakfast with the Astros only on AT&T Sportsnet.
Good double dip tomorrow.
And we have a day game after that Breakfast with the Astros. A lot of Astros and Guardians tomorrow. Here's Will Brennan. Not in the original lineup against the lefty Framber. Grounds one to Altuve. Framber's going to jog off the mound. He's feeling it tonight. We are headed to the bottom half of the eighth. It is 2-0 Astros. Verlander, when he was acquired in 2017, he would roll through the regular season and the postseason, win the American League Championship Series MVP. He went 10-1 with a filthy ERA of 1.66 over 70 2/3 innings, a whip of less than three-quarter, 0.74 hits and walks divided by innings pitched. AB coming back to Houston tonight. I would say round two. It could be round three because he was acquired, then he signed an extension, and now here he is again. So whatever you want to qualify it as, JV part 2 or part 3, and the rest of the Astros very excited to see the future Hall of Famer back in an Astros uniform soon.
Yeah, they were looking for a little bit of a bump with that trade deadline, and Dana Brown delivering Justin Verlander. There's a lot of guys in that clubhouse that understand how important that big arm has been in the past and can be this season. New arm in this ball game is going to be Aniel De Los Santos. 45 games he's pitched in this season, has a 2.45 ERA, 38 strikeouts in 44 innings.
Here is Alex Bregman leading off. Takes the first pitch in for a ball, 1-0. Bregman 0 for 3 tonight. Count of 1-1. Framber, the last 3 innings, has thrown a total of 21 pitches. Had thrown 60 pitches through 5 innings, which we thought was very good, averaging 12 pitches per inning. Now he has thrown just 81 pitches through 8, almost 10 pitches per inning.
We'll check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Altuve back in that 3rd inning, gets on base. Then Jeremy Pena takes a walk. Kyle Tucker comes up after a wild pitch with runners at 2nd and 3rd. Picks up the 2 runs in this ball game as we see them. With as well as Framber Valdez is pitching, it might be the only 2 runs the Astros need. They would like to get more, obviously, pad those stats a little bit. But I think right now, other than this half inning, the primary focus is going to be on Framber Valdez moving forward.
Jose Abreu 0 for 2 with a walk tonight, falling down in the count here 0-2. Social media Tuesday, Ruby's Takes sent us a post saying, kind of sad to trade our prospects, but I love how we improved our pitching. Having 2 aces will be vital in October. Hopefully we push and get that 1 or 2 seed. You're seeing Framber Valdez looking very much like the ace tonight as Angel De Los Santos picks up a couple outs, and now a word from Coors Light.
Houston fans, Coors Light is keeping Texas chill all season long. The world's most refreshing beer is made to chill.
Chaz Choppers get one more chance here in the bottom half of the 8th inning to show their love for Chaz, as he is 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. It takes a strike. It's 0-1. Guardians will have their 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up in the 9th inning. Framber has allowed the 1 walk to Oscar Gonzalez. but he was erased on a double play to end the fifth. So Fromber has faced the minimum 24 batters through 8. As McCormick has a count of 0-2. Chaz staying alive, giving it a look is David Fry, but he's out of room. Astros, with all the hits in this game, they have 7 of them. They have left 7 men on base. And Chaz goes down on strikes. Cleveland with some solid pitching tonight from Gavin Williams and 3 relievers, allowing just 2 runs through 8. It's 2-0 Astros. Houston Astros baseball is presented by Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. And by Whataburger. Stop by Whataburger and try the patty melt today. It's an all-time favorite for a reason. Huge ovation, a standing O for Fromber Valdez as he takes the mound for the 9th inning. He'll face Gabriel Arias, the number 7 hitter, with a 2-0 lead, and the first pitch misses, ball 1. Arias has struck out and grounded out in this game. Fromber's been good getting ahead of hitters tonight. Throws a changeup to get a swinging strike, 1-1.
Well, that's what's interesting. He hasn't used that changeup or that cutter all that often, but they're still hyper-effective pitches. So maybe in this 9th inning, break it out when you need it, get back in that count.
Bounces the next pitch, a changeup. It's 1-2.
We talked about Fromber and how when he gets focused and he's in that zone, all he has to do is listen to what Maldonado's getting to him, grab that baseball, that grip, and release it. But we're going to see a really good indication of how he controls his emotions here in this 9th inning against the Cleveland Guardians.
We mentioned when Fromber is locked in like he is tonight, not many pitchers better than him in all of Major League Baseball. And when he is locked in, he's getting a lot of groundouts too. 6 of the last 7 outs have been on the ground, plus a strikeout. Down and in, 3-2. Fromber with a rare 3-ball count tonight. He walked Oscar Gonzalez on a 3-2 pitch in the 5th. Ground ball right to Altuve. Positioned perfectly. His throw a little high, and Abreu comes down on the bag, and that's out number 1 in the 9th inning.
That's the thing about playing behind Fromber Valdez as an infielder. You absolutely love those guys that get you a lot of ground balls. So the Astros this entire ball game have been on their toes ready for that ground ball.
Here's Miles Straw. Straw's flied out to center, lined out to Kyle Tucker in right. Takes a first pitch curveball down for a ball, 1-0. Fromber 88 pitches in. Pitch count has never been an issue tonight.
Especially for a guy like Fromber who's built to go about 120 if you need him to.
Missing wide, 2-0. So Fromber all of a sudden getting into a couple of hitters counts or deep counts in the case of Gabriel Arias to start the inning. Fromber had been 15 of 24 first pitch strikes coming into this inning. Into center field, Jake Myers is there. That's 2 away in the 9th. Oscar Gonzalez walked to start the 5th, the only base runner of the night for the Guardians. Now Cam Gallagher will bat.
Good start going to that breaking ball down and in.
And 2. $33,703. Not one of them sitting. Looper, Pena, no-hitter for Framber Valdez. The first lefty in franchise history to throw a no-hitter. A historic day for Framber on a day when the Astros acquired a Hall of Famer. Framber goes out and makes his own bit of history.
An incredible 24 hours with the trade deadline. And Framber Valdez says, today is my day. It's Framber Day. He collects his first no-hitter. We've seen the complete game shutout from Framber Valdez, but tonight we saw an absolutely dominant performance from the Astro left-hander going, remember me? I'm not too bad either. Congratulations, Framber Valdez.
Framber, the first lefty ever, picks up his first no-hitter. He felt it from the start. He only threw 14 pitches, 1 inning as his game high in total pitches. He ends up with 93 pitches tonight. That is the second lowest total for any Astros pitcher in a no-hitter. Darryl Kyle throwing 83 in his incredible no-hitter back in 1993. What a night for Framber. Framber acknowledges the crowd. It's a big hug from Jen Loy, and Julia standing by right next to Framber. Julia, take it away.
Thank you so much. Y'all ready? Jen Loy? ¿Cómo te sientes? First career no-hitter, how do you feel?
Me siento bien. Por tirar ese no-hitter hoy, le doy las gracias también a mi queche Maldi, al equipo también, que hicieron un buen trabajo. Y ¿qué puedo decir? Darle gracias a Dios por todo.
I feel great. You know, obviously, thanks to God, thanks to my catcher and my team who did a great job. And, you know, just very grateful for this.
So many strikeouts early. We saw that curveball working. Tell me about your pitches tonight. What was working for you?
Mucho cambio, mucho ponche en la curva que está trabajando para ti.
Yo lo trabajé la semana entera. Mi curva siempre ha sido buena y solamente le puse empeño, enfoque y combinación con el Maldi.
You know, the biggest thing is just all about the focus. Just throwing the pitch hard, the focus and combination of Maldi here.
When you came back out for the 9th inning, how are you feeling?
Cuando saliste para la 9ª entrada, ¿cómo te sentías?
Me sentía bien, me sentía positivo, me sentía confiado en el equipo. Como siempre, somos un equipo unido, un equipo positivo y un equipo que lo da todo en el terreno.
I felt good. When I went out there with confidence, and confidence in my team. Like I said, this is a united team. This is a great team.
We've seen you do so much in your career, so many great things in your career. How did you get here? How are you doing this?
¿Cómo estás haciendo esto?
Con enfoque, empeño, trabajo en el terreno, trabajo en mi mente y trabajando con el Maldi y el equipo completo.
You know, just focus, sacrifice, a lot of hard work on the field, a lot of hard work on myself, and a lot of work with Maldi here.
Felicidades.
Thank you so much.
I've got Martin Maldonado here. Maldi, let's talk Framber. We've talked Framber a lot. We've talked Framber being good a lot, but he just threw a no-hitter. How did you guys do it?
Oh, Framber, you know, I think he has become a long way for us. I've become our ace. You know, that guy is motivated day in, day out. You know, trying to get better. When he's not on the mound, he's standing, you know, in the gym. You know, he wanna get better as every year comes up.
That curveball was back. Sinker was back. What was working so well? How did y'all come up with this plan against the Guardians?
Pretty much trying to make sure he don't throw that hard. You know, last game was throwing 98, 97, so I think put the sink, you know, beat it down a little bit. Pitch at 94, 95, we throw 98 when we need to, and sink it was back where it normally is.
Is it hard for you not to get caught up in a moment like him coming back out for the 9th inning? Everyone in this building knows what's going on.
Of course, you know, from the 6th inning, every time I went there after the 6th, I was like, you know, try to call the right pitches, try to, you know, try to guide him the right way, and, you know, he has to get some pitches today.
I know you've caught one of these before. You've worked with so many great pitchers in your career. How proud are you of these moments in your own career?
Julia, this one is really special. This is the first one I ever caught from the same pitcher. The 2-1 I have is combined no hitter, so it's always special for me. You know, I take a lot of pride on that. A lot of emotion go to my head. You know, it's a good moment for my kids when they grow up.
Congratulations, both of you.
Julia.
Martin Maldonado, Framber Valdez, what a battery to kick.
Yeah, I love the reaction from all the guys, too, after this game. Framber getting love from all his teammates, including his bullpen mates that just came down. And he'll get a picture here with Martin Maldonado. What a combination. 93 pitches tonight, Plummer. That's about as dominant as you can be in a no-hitter, facing 27 batters.
It's unbelievable. It's remarkable just to see that he did face just 27 hitters. And at the same time, you saw that focus and the ability, not one high-leverage pitch, other until he got to that 3-2 count, I felt later in the ball game. But as a defense, these guys were on their toes. They were just as focused as Framber Valdez was. But that is as calm and under control as you're going to see Framber Valdez, who gets to celebrate the moment that he has been working towards. We knew he's a horse. We knew he could last. But now he finally gets the ultimate reward of collecting that no-hitter, something I would imagine he's been aiming for.
That was a soft line drive to Pena, which is an easy play, but in his mind, there was a lot of pressure on making that catch as he went after that line drive.
Yeah, when you're standing out there looking at the scoreboard, you watch everybody stand up before that 9th inning starts in anticipation of history. It does put a lot of pressure on those guys, but guess what? They've gone out there and won World Series championships. They've played under a lot of pressure. This a little bit different kind, but Jeremy came up with that last play. He'll forever be immortalized in that video every time we show that. Framber Valdez, no-hitter.
Kind of ironic, the day they reacquired Justin Verlander, Framber Valdez becomes the first pitcher with a no-hitter since JVs in 2019. Also in 19, the Astros had a no-hitter right after the trade deadline. Aaron Sanchez, Joe Biagini had just been acquired from the Toronto Blue Jays. That was their first appearance in an Astros uniform, and they ended up with that combined no-hitter. So what a night it was. Justin Verlander with the last single-pitcher no-hitter before Framber Valdez, and it felt early on like Framber was really going to have something special. Nobody knew a no-hitter was coming, but he was on from the start.
Yeah, but think about the emotion in this ballpark, too. You had one team in the Houston Astros who went out and made that splash. They got Justin Verlander. They know they're in contention. And across the way, the Cleveland Guardians were watching guys get removed from their clubhouse and nobody being added. So there was a little bit of a demoralized feeling over there. One of their best hitters, and Josh Naylor, comes out of the game or out of the lineup with the side issue. All you've got left is Jose Ramirez trying to carry that offense. And Framber Valdez and Martin Maldonado, to their credit, recognized an opportunity. Framber locked in, got dialed in, and everything that was coming through that pitch comm was as pure as could be. It just came out of that left hand so beautifully, and he continued to just wipe out Guardians left and right.
First left-hander in Astros history with a no-hitter, and of all the pitchers who have thrown a complete game no-hitter, Framber Valdez becomes the first one to face the minimum 27 batters. He was a 3-2 pitch walk away from a perfect game tonight. He was nearly perfect on what is a special, special night for Framber Valdez and the Houston Astros. What a night it is to be on the post-game show tonight. That honor belongs to Vanessa Richardson and Michael Bourne as they talk about this special Framber Valdez night. The Astros with a no-hitter from the lefty. Post-game show right around the corner. A lot to talk about tonight. Enjoy the moment. We'll be back after this.